Speaking out for the first time, Dubé says she still can't believe it.
He came into court with handcuffed. So in public, I hugged him. He hugged me. And I didn't know what had happened, and especially knowing Mark. Mark is such a good kid. I think if he wanted to be bad, he wouldn't know how.
Now, Bob McKeown, co-host of The Fifth Estate, joins us live in studio. So, Bob, why is their mother, Roxanne Dubé, deciding to speak now?
Well, this is obviously one of those confounding stories that has totally befuddled most Canadians, if I'm any indication. You know, we saw the headlines back in March. Two kids, 17 and 15, privileged background. They traveled the world with their mom. She was an ambassador in Africa, private schools. Within a couple of months of arriving in Miami, they're in the middle of this deadly drug deal gone wrong, one dead, one now facing literally life in prison. And I think Roxanne Dubé believes two things. One, all of the story hasn't come out. The prosecution's case has been put in a number of court hearings, in many cases blaming her parenting. And I think she feels that she should speak up on the side of her sons and give Canadians more of a story than the prosecution is.
So how does she explain how her sons got involved in all of this?
Yeah, which is, of course, the essential question, and the one we set out first to try to find an answer to. We have an excerpt from our conversation with Roxanne, which speaks to that. And in this one, she's talking about Jean, her 17-year-old.
He was in circles where some of the people there were in the drug trafficking business, and in that context, I saw Miami as an opportunity to take him out of that circle of friends and start afresh.
So what she's saying there essentially is that at the time they were contemplating this job offer in Miami as consul-general, things weren't going well for Jean in Ottawa. Now, the fact of the matter is she didn't know how badly they were going, and we did some investigation she couldn't do. We found that from the age of 15, he had got in with a bad crowd. He was skipping school, then quit school altogether. He would hang out during the day at a housing project in Ottawa known for gangs and guns. It's notorious. According to people he hung out with, he not only used drugs, he dealt drugs, and eventually started robbing other drug dealers, which of course is exactly what it said he did on that fateful day in Miami. So in terms of how it happened, she was trying to get him out of that. She knew he had some bad friends. She was trying to take him somewhere where he could have a fresh start. In fact, what happened was she took him to the center of the narcotics industry in North America.
Wow, and now police are saying his brother, Mark Wabafe Bazu, didn't shoot anyone. Why then is he charged with felony murder?
And he didn't. No one says he did. In fact, as you'll see, there's incredible security footage from the parking lot where they put their car. And you see Jean, the last anybody saw of him alive in an image. He's wearing a hoodie, a basketball jersey. He's got an empty duffel bag, presumably for the marijuana he's going to buy. And it was going to be a lot of marijuana. And you can't see it, but under his shirt, he's got two handguns. Now again, this is a 17-year-old from Ottawa, within a couple of months of arriving in Miami, and he's found a place to buy, which may not be remarkable, frankly, in Miami, but somehow he's got two handguns. It's pretty clear that one of the possibilities was he was going to rob the drug dealer. In any event, there's no evidence that Mark was directly involved. The 15-year-old, they had said they were going to a movie. Their mom lent them the car for that reason. He's in the passenger seat. So he's been described by the prosecution as a getaway driver. Well, first of all, he's 15. Secondly, he's in the passenger seat. He's been described as a lookout. As you'll see on the security footage, he's clearly not armed. And he's clearly confused when he hears the gunshots. He doesn't know what to do. So the Florida justice system is a big character in our piece for two reasons. One, though he was in the parking lot, in the car, not in the building where the shooting took place, though he didn't participate directly, he has been charged with felony murder. He's been left to hold the bag, essentially. And felony murder basically means they say you were a participant, you had knowledge, therefore you are equally responsible. But the key thing is, though he's only 15 and had just turned 15 when this happened, he's been charged as an adult. And that can happen without judicial review in Florida. The prosecutors just decide to charge you as an adult, which means that instead of having a few years of a youth diversion program and that kind of thing, he is facing life without parole. Now consider this. There's only one legal jurisdiction, one nation in the world that puts children in prison for life, and that's the United States. And it happens in Florida more often than anywhere else in the U.S. And now, a 15-year-old from Ottawa may be next.
What a compelling story. What a compelling story, Bob. Thank you for coming in to speak about this. You can watch Murder in Miami, a mother's trial tonight on the 5th Estate. That's at 9 p.m., 9:30 in Newfoundland. And you can also watch it online, cbc.ca/5th.